Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm actually not in Houston today. However, I would like to introduce today our new user group leader who has joined us today and will be joining us going forward, Chui.
Mhm.
And
Hi, everyone.
obviously, you are in the hands of capable Nicole at the same time.
Yeah.
And what we'll do is maybe we just give it maybe another minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Sabir, Rabat, one of you, if you whoever is doing the presentation, can get the presentation up and running.
Ah, Nicola,
Yes.
Khaled told me that we can go free for the first few minutes, so let's talk about football.
Okay, sure.
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't mind, man.
Me neither.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. We can go into a presentation and then we'll kind of go through what we got going on today. So for those of you joined late, we'll obviously be recording this session and then we'll have it published in the YouTube. So take it away. I guess for those, if you go to the second slide, Shabir, for those of you who don't know, we're the Houston Fabric user group. We meet virtual and in person. Obviously, this is the virtual session. We're planning something big, and you guys can thank Chudi for that. We'll be announcing that hopefully in a week or so. But for those of you who haven't joined, please join the meetup group and see more of what's coming. And without that, I will hand it over to Chui, and then we'll take it from introduction. Chui, if you can do an introduction for yourself, and then the
Yes.
team can do theirs and take it from there.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So my name is Chuy Varela. I'm based in Houston, same as Khaled. Helping now with the Fabric user group. Just a little quick context or history about myself. I've been working here on BI and data analytics for over 15 years. I have worked in the oil and gas industry, which is kind of the biggest here in Houston. So that's my background, but also, keen on learning to learn about data analytics, everything in general, Power BI Fabric. So we'll try to get the best content possible for you guys. And thank you for joining.
Sabir,
Sorry,
Sabir, move to the next slide, and let's do the introduction for Rubaiyat. And I
Mhm.
think people know who I am. I'll skip my introduction, but go ahead. Rubaiyat, you're on mute, by the way.
Okay, I think I can hear me right now. Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. I am Rubayat Yasmin, one of the co-speakers. So I am associate data analyst at Data Crafters. So I am experienced in Power BI and started working on Fabric after its launch from last year. And today we will be discussing on optimizing Fabric cost with Logic Apps. Thank you everyone for joining. I will hand it over to Nicola right now. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Robert. Thank you. I'm Nicola. I'm based in Europe, in Salzburg, in Austria. And happy to join this group today. I need to provide a little bit of a background why I'm here. Few months ago, I was in Houston with Khaled, and he showed me this solution with Logic Apps, and I was like, wow, I need to see how this works. And Khaled was like, I don't know, but I have people who created this and they will show you for sure. And I'm happy that I'm today here to support Shabir and Rubayat and to learn more about this solution. So yeah.
By the way, Nicola has an honorary membership to Texas. We're trying to get him to move. Hopefully, he moves eventually.
I told you. I told you.
Shabir, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shabir. I've been working in Data Crafters for like it's been a bit like a year, and I mostly work on data, but I started by working on security as well. So I do a lot of R&D on Microsoft Fabric, and mostly my primary area is data engineering for the time being.
Okay. So, Khalid, if you want to say something for before we
they,
start the
they,
session.
they're into who I am.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
one of the cool. One of the co-leaders of Houston User Group. I'm the principal at Data Crafters. It's for us like we don't get enough by doing what we do for work. We love this stuff so much that we do this for user group and trying to drive the community forward. And obviously, it gets allows us to work with amazing people like Chewy and Nicola. So I can't complain. All right, you guys take it away.
Okay. Thank you, Khaled and Nicola and Shabir, for introducing us today. So, with further ado, let's jump into the agenda. So, for introduction, there's not much. So, you know who will be presenting. It's us today. And we will take a quick look at the fabric cost and then how we can leverage logic apps for the automation. And then we will jump to the hands-on demo where we will create logic apps and then schedule it using different logic app, and then we will show how you can leverage data pipeline to dynamically do all those works. So first off, I'm going to talk about the reason for this session. So purpose of this session came out from our last session that we did on fabric costs. There was a lot of interest from everyone to figure out how we are actually doing the cost savings. If you want to see the full videos, here's the link on the slide, or you can just scan the QR code. It's a great and amazing video. You can just I recommend that you watch it so that you can get a idea that what we are trying to achieve here today in this session. Okay, so what will we achieve? All right, so using the logic apps, today we will show how you can create a logic app and then how you can use the activity to resume and suspend the logic app. And then even if you don't have the access to the Azure portal and to resume and suspend it manually, you can do so by using the Power BI report. So we'll be showing you that as well, and then we will show that how you can scale up and scale down using Power BI report, or even better using data pipeline. Okay, so the fabric cost, the okay, the it is a pain, right? So you have seen the complete cost of fabric capacity for F64. You have to pay, I mean, 5,000 per month. It's a lot, right? So if you can find a way to reduce these costs, why not achieve that? Why not do that, right? So this is the fabric cost overview. All right. So we have a real life scenario. So here it is. Like the fabric capacity needs to be turned on in the office hours, that is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we will create a separate logic app to achieve that, and then we need to create another logic app to um, solve another scenario, that is the data pipeline execution, which needs a higher capacity. So in that logic app, we will see that how we can dynamically how we can dynamically scale up to F64, and then after some period of time, when our work is done, it will automatically scale down to F2 or our needed capacity. And the time is given to 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Okay, so at this point, some of you, or maybe all of you, are thinking that, okay, Power Automate can do that work. So why are we talking about logic apps? Why not we are using Power Apps? All right. So here's the thing. For this work, for our logic to work, we will be using a connector called HTTP connector. So the main reason is in Power Automate, the HTTP connector is premium. So when you can leverage a word using a free version, then why you will pay it, right? So for that, this is the main reason. And then another thing is that Power Automate requires premium license for every user, but Logic App does not. So yeah, that's the main thing, that we are using the Logic App and we are not using Power Automate.
Yeah, just to clarify a little bit as Rubat is going through, right? So, like, if you notice the connectors, right? We're going to need the Azure Resource Manager and the HTTP for a lot of the times we do. And for those, it requires the premium connector. And if you just one person, you can get away with Power Automate. But if there's multiple people kind of doing that, that means the cost of it will scale linearly, right? Versus the advantage with Logic App is because you're paying for the triggers, and these are not heavily used triggers. So that part of it comes cheaper from that perspective.
Thank you, Khaled, for adding that piece of information. Okay, so a little bit high level overview of Logic Apps is that this is a cloud based platform that allows us to automate workflows and integrate services. It's a fantastic tool for streamlining processes and minimizing operational costs. Whether you are monitoring Fabric environment or automating any task, so Logic Apps can help us in doing that. All right. Okay, so at this point, I'm done with the shortcut theory part. So let's dive into the hands-on session where we will start creating logic apps and take it from there. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so I have shared the screen. So that is our Azure portal. All right. So I have logged into Azure portal, and here I can see that Logic Apps. For those who are trying Logic Apps for the first time, so all you need to do is search in the search box for Logic Apps and then hit enter. Then you will be seeing these Logic Apps. All right, and then click on it. Okay, so here you will be seeing if you have any new logic apps, then you will be seeing it. If not, then you will see a blank page. So for starters, I'm going to create a new logic apps from this add button in here. So at this point, I'm going to choose the consumption plan. So only why I am choosing the consumption plan and why not the standard one. The only reason is for this demo to work, or in our logic, we need the consumption plan because it's pay as you go. And if we choose the standard one, it will be a dedicated one. So it will be, well, I mean, it will be very costly. So we don't need that, right? So that's why I'm choosing the consumption plan. And all right, here's the subscription that we need to choose. For this one, we are going with our subscription. And for resource group, okay, I am going with a resource group that we have, and then I am making logic apps named demo. Let's change the region to South Central US. And then you don't need to add any tags. If you want to add it, then go add it. We don't need it for now. And then I'm just going to click on create, and it is submitting the deployment. We can see just right of the top right corner that the deployment is in progress. So we can see that our deployment has been succeeded, and we can go to the resource, and it's thinking. So we will get a nice overview page. So to design the logic app, we have the logic app designer from the developer tools dropdown. If you cannot see, or if you see a screen like this, no need to get worried. All you need to do is just click on this dropdown from developer tools, choose the logic app designer, click on it, and then you will be seeing the canvas, a white canvas. All right. So to for a logic app to work, you need to select trigger and then add activity. Okay. So for now, for this to work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a trigger that is HTTP. Okay. So this is the connector, the HTTP connector. This is free in Logic Apps, by the way, and paid in Power Automate. I just mentioned earlier in our slide. So this is our connector. Okay. So if I click on it, and then it is asking me for the some options. So here, all I need to do is just add the method, which is get.
Hi, Rubaiyat, I want to add something. Why not let's get started with the request HTTP? I think that will be better to, go with the actual storyline.
Sure, thank you, Shabir, for clarifying that. Yes. So we will start with this when a HTTP request is received. So yes, that one this connector will help us in receiving any request from outside. For our demo part today, we will be receiving requests from the Power BI report. All right. So the URL, HTTP URL, it will be automatically generated after we save it. So in the placeholder, it is giving us the information. And for the method, we will use the get method because we want to receive trigger. Okay. So I am just keeping this blank for now. And then let's go ahead, give it a save. Okay, once I save it, you can see that that we have got a HTTP URL for this connector, right? So let's see if this is working or not. At this point, what we can do is we can add a Teams notification to see if our trigger is working or not when we run it. Before that, before sending the Teams notification, it's better that we read a capacity and its properties. All right, so at this point, I'm going to write read a resource. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to use this read a resource from this Azure Resource Manager activity, and then there we go. We have the one couple of informations. The asterisk mark is depicting that we need to fill these up. Okay, so the subscription here we can see is only data graphers. All right, it shouldn't be it. Okay.
Yeah, Robert. Let's show how we can get the information
Stop.
from
Yeah.
portal as well. Because the thing is that the items doesn't always appear in the drop down actually. So it is always better to get the properties from Azure portal, Microsoft Fabric capacity. So we can just directly go to the capacity and open this one, right?
So I have entered a custom value because my capacity name didn't show up for that reason. And then there's this resource group which should show up. And then we need to use a resource provider name. In this case, it is going to be Microsoft Fabric. So there it is, this Microsoft Fabric. We need the short resource ID, right? What can we get it? So from this settings, from the properties tab of the fabric capacity, so we can get it from here. The capacity / capacity 01 demo. This is our capacity name. All right, we don't need this up here. And for the client API version, we can use the latest one, or we can click on the JSON view of this overview page and then choose the API version we have for now. So I'm going to choose the 2023 11.01. Let's type it in. All right, and
For this connection, Rubat, let's get started with your own connection. I think we can show people about the service principle at the end if we get time.
yeah, sure. So I'm choosing my own account for that, and we can see that it is connected to my account. All right. So this is read a resource. Right now, to get the properties of this resource, particular resource, let's add another activity that is called Teams. Send a notification. I'm going to type in send a notification.
So I also face this problem. So it appears sooner if we type like Microsoft Teams rather than the send a notification. So that's what I also face.
Okay, thank you, Shabir, for mentioning that. All right. Okay,
So
so
let's get started
post a
with the
message.
post a message, right? Yeah.
All right. So there's this poster message. So this one we will be using this to see the properties of this resource we just added. All right. So we are just using for now, we can use this flowboat, post as flowboat, or you can use this user option as well if you prefer. But for now, for this demo, we are sticking to the flowboat and then posting chat with flowboat. All right. And then I am going to use my account. For this one, and as recipient, if you prefer your ID or anyone's ID, you just need to type in their email and you are good to go. All right. So let's add the properties from here. So from the reader resource, we can see all the outputs of here. If we click on see more, we will be seeing the other uh, outputs as well. So from here, I'm going to select these properties option, and then from here, I'm going to read the state of this fabric capacity that we are trying to read. All right. So here I'm going to type in a state and then click on add, and then just add a nice new message. All right. So the capacity is, probably it will show if it is active or not. If something is wrong, then it will not send us a Teams message. Let's find out if it's working or not. All right. So give it a save. Okay, you can see that our flow has been saved successfully. So at this point, okay, I should be able to see this run button in here. Okay, all right. So it needed a reload, but anyways, normally it doesn't ask for that. But anyways, so at this point, I'm going to hit run to see if our Teams message is working or not. If it is, then we should be able to see a Teams message shortly.
Yeah, I can see your Teams notification. I think the message has appeared.
Okay, so let me show you in here is that, yeah. Okay, in here you you can see it in the screen, right? That the capacity is paused. So yeah, our part of our logic is working. It's a good thing. So okay, let's implement our other logics as well. Okay. So from here, okay, in the run history, also we can check the run history and how many seconds it took to run the logic app. All right. Okay. So yes, at this point, we can see that our logic app is paused. So let's add a condition and then try to activate it. Okay. So that is our first scenario where we try to resume and suspend the capacity. Okay. So at this point, what I'm going to do is from this plus icon, I'm going to add an action called condition. Okay, so from here, let's choose dynamic content, and in that, we will add the same content. Like we are going to choose these properties and then the state. Sorry, it needs to be enclosed with the quotation. Okay, there we go. Need to read a resource. There's this properties and state. So the condition would be if the property of, if the state is equal to, let's say it is paused for now. Let's say we are trying to resume it. Okay. So if the capacity is paused, if it is true, then we will just resume the capacity. Okay. For that, we need to use invoke a resource operation from the Azure Resource Manager item. So I'm going to invoke a resource operation. Okay, so invoke a resource operation. This is what we need to use for that. And we are seeing some informations that we know. Okay, let's try to do that. I'm using the custom. Okay, let's change the connection to my name and see what happens. I should be able to see, yes. So the problem
Ah,
was it was connected to the service principal. For that reason, I wasn't able to say it. Sorry, okay. Okay, it is happening again, but it's okay.
yeah, but Rubaiyat, we are working in the other subscription, right? So in the data crafter subscription, I think.
Okay, okay, thank
Yeah.
you for that. Okay, so resource group is Microsoft.Fabric. Let's type in Microsoft.Fabric. And here it is, the Microsoft.Fabric. We have the short resource ID already copied. Okay, for those who are interested in, I am typing in the Windows plus V to see my all the copied item in the clipboard. All right, and then 2023 1101. This is our client API version, and the action name we are going to use it would be resume. Okay, and then okay. If the item is success, then let's send another Teams message, or we can copy it and paste it. Let's try to copy and paste. See if it works. It's not. All right. Okay, I'm going to click on see more from Microsoft Teams and then post a message in a chat or channel. That is what I'm going to use. Post as flowvote, and then this is why every time is Matrubuzaman Sabir or
And
yeah,
the
Sabir
reason is,
does something right.
I always love to mess up with those things. So this is some, clues that I was hearing.
Yes, that's why this is acting weird today, but
Yeah, I'm kidding. But the thing is that in this tenant, whatever the connections we actually create there, we can actually see that in that connection. So even if we click on the change connection, we might see Govind's name as well.
okay, so here again, I'm going to use the capacity and the state to get the state. I'm going to add it here. So it will send me the message if the capacity is active or paused. Okay. So there it is. And let's add another Teams message called, okay, we are not going to do that. I think at this point, all of you got this.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think, Rubat, it would be nice to have a confirmation on the false side as well. So if the capacity is already running, then we can know that, all right, the capacity is already running. We don't need to resume that. So that's a better user experience to me. In fact, all the Teams message, they are not of any like use technically, but it is nice to have for a confirmation.
They got it. The capacity is already running. Okay, there we go. So I think we are all set. So let's save it. Okay, and run it. Okay, we can see that yes, our trigger has been successfully initiated. It is posting a Teams message. Okay, we could have deleted that, but anyways, we forgot to delete that. But it is checking. So at
I
this,
already can see the capacity has been resumed.
okay, then it's a good idea. Let's go to Power BI.
Total.
Yeah,
All right.
from the portal, I can show you from the admin portal, all right? if I do not want to go to the Azure portal, for those who don't have capacity, access to the
Yeah, the admin
Azure
access, right?
portal, yes, then they can go see in this from this capacity settings, and our capacity name is capacity 01 demo, and you can see that the status is active right now. So there you go. We have successfully completed one logic apps, which is resume the capacity from the paused state. All right. So yes, at this point I am going to hand over the session to
Right,
Shabir.
I have a question. What if we
Okay.
try to resume this capacity again when it's already running?
Oh, yes, we can do that. Okay, so the condition, oh, go to the logic apps designer. Okay, from the run history, by the way, we can see that it has been succeeded already. And from the logic app designer, okay, if the capacity right now is not paused, meaning is active, so in the false, let's add another invoke resource operation. Let's try to see if we can copy paste.
Um, uh, Maybe
Cannot.
let's not do that right now. Maybe let's see if we run exactly this logic app right now when the capacity is running. Let's see if it breaks or not. Then we can find room for improvement, right?
Yeah, it should send me a message saying that the capacity is already running, right?
Oh, all right. Then it is like it's the complete solution for resuming the capacity without like the chance of breaking.
Yes. So we can see at this point that the capacity is already running. We have got a confirmation, all right. So yes, I have shown my part. So I'm going to hand it over to Shabir, who is going to take it from here and complete the rest of the demo. So back to you, Shabir.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you. The Logic app has now a bit of personality. It does read the capacity and then checks if the capacity is running. And if it is running, then it doesn't again invoke the resume operation. So give me like 1 minute to set up.
Maybe one quick comment question for everyone.
Yeah.
What will be the expertise that one person helping with this should have? I think just for providing context for everyone, discovering this about logic apps in Azure. And I would say that one part of the expertise will be that you will be helping with administration of Fabric. But when we talk about the logic apps, can we please mention, Rubayat, on what kind of expertise one person needs to develop this? Because maybe you don't have that kind of expertise already in your team, and that would be some kind of help, or bring somebody that has that expertise to help you with this.
Yeah, thank you for this question. So I would say that I'm a data analyst, right? So I have started from Power BI, but then later
Yeah,
on I learned about Logic Apps. So then I started developing on it, and then I went into Azure and all the stuff. So primarily in the Azure data engineering. Uh, all right. So there we can, if we have that expertise, so we can just build logic apps and all the stuff. So there's a learning path for the Azure data engineer. So the exam is called DP203. If we complete that or the start with the learning path, we can adapt the expertise on the all the stuff. If anyone is interested on logic apps, then they can go through the documentation, how to create logic apps and all the stuff, so they can do so. Yeah.
perfect. Okay,
Yeah,
just
I
having
can
it
add
even for me
something to
too.
Rubat as yeah.
Mhm.
I can add something to Rubat as well. Rubat, why don't we mention the upcoming session on the low code to no code? So that's the actually main point of this logic app. That is, automation can be done in many ways, right? So it
Yeah.
can be done in like native coding or something like that. But the plus point of this logic app is that we actually don't have to know that much technical expertise, have that much technical expertise to build this app, right? So why is that? In the backend, some kind of code is being generated, right? But see, we don't have to write a single line of code to build all these things. So right now, what Rubat has built, so it can like read the whole capacity, all the properties of your capacity. It can just get into the capacity and get all the properties out. Then it can post a message to our teams, and then also it can check for the properties, whether the expected status is, and then it can invoke the right operation based on that. So all this has been done without writing a single line of code, and that is the actually like main plus point of this logic app. So that's the point. So let's I want to like thanks Robert for creating this part. What this logic app is doing right now is that maybe we can rename this, right? So we can say, for the simplicity, this part is getting the capacity properties, like read capacity. So now we know the capacity, the properties of the capacity we have got through this activity. And then we had this message here, but I think we do not need here right now. And after that, reading the capacity, we'll check what is the current status. If the status is paused, then we will resume, right? This is the activity that will resume. Let's name it in a more English way. So resume. So and for the condition, we can also change the name. Um, if capacity is paused, right? If capacity is paused, then I will resume, and maybe then I'll send confirmation. And same goes for like they already paused. I'm sorry, already running, right? Let me check the condition again. So it is checking whether the properties is equal to pause. So if it is false, that means it is not paused, right? So that says already running, that is not paused. So yeah, that is basically the whole solution for the resuming the capacity. Now, we have this connector at the very beginning, right? So why did we add this? So the main point of this is, see, this here is a link. If we just copy this link here, and before that, I want to show you, let's save all the changes. I want to show you the run history. What is the latest run? So the latest run is this one. So let's copy and paste that link from, the first connector, this connector. So if we just copy and paste this link here and then run it, a blank page appeared. Now let's go back to the logic app and see the run history. It's loading. So, Rubat, have you got any notification since I am expecting that the logic app has invoked?
Yes. Yes, I can already see the message from the workflow.
Yeah, see, there is a fourth run here at 10:45 in my time. So that is the magic behind this first activity. So if we just take this link from this first activity and put it in any kind of place like Power BI report. And then we will be able to call this logic app from Power BI report. We don't have to come here to run this. So let's start. Let's show you how we can do that. This is our Power BI report, right? We can just add a button. Let's add a button here. So this is the button. And let's say we want to resume it from this Power BI report. We don't have to go to the Azure portal. So for that, let's select this one and then go to the action, turn it on, and then the action type is web URL. We are trying to put the URL from the logic app into this button and paste the URL here. So that's all the work. We can style it a bit, this button. Like we can add a text, resume capacity. So if I click on this resume capacity, Robot should get a message again that the capacity is already running. Someone is trying to resume it again. Robot, have you got any notification?
Yes, I got it.
So yeah, that is basically the part of on-demand resuming. So whenever someone is doing an R&D thing, they suddenly need to turn on the capacity. They can just open this Power BI report, click on this button, the capacity will be running. That is it. So let's do the same thing for pausing the capacity, meaning that whenever our work is done and the capacity we do not need anymore be running, then we can just pause it to save money, right? So there is one thing we can do for the suspend one. We can just copy this logic app and modify it so that it does the suspend thing in instead of doing the resume. So this is the clone button to copy the logic app. Let's name it like demo suspend and then create. It will take some time. So it's being created. And since it's created, I will be able to see that from here. So there you go. This is the demo suspend. This is nothing but the same logic app that Rubat has built. So this is the logic app designer. From here, we can under development tools. From here, we can get this window. So we need to modify these apps so that it does the suspend work instead of resuming. So first thing, this is the link that we'll be using in Power BI report. Then it will read the capacity. After reading the capacity, it will check if it is paused, right? So just for make it more sensible, we can just say if it capacity is running, right? So if capacity is running, then property state is equal to active. I just want to show that the state can be there is two states. One is paused and the other is active. Active means the capacity is running. The paused means the capacity is stopped for the time being. So if the capacity is running, then we'll do the pause thing, right? So let's rename it as it will do the suspend thing. And the whole information for the capacity will be the same, but the action name will be different. So now we'll be doing suspend on the capacity, right? And still this connection is working as robots one. So I've changed the connection to be mine. And then there is the Teams notification that will confirm the capacity is paused now. So just to show you, we can change the name email to mine. So can we like make this email dynamic? Yeah, we can do, but we'll show that later, I think. So let's change this connection. Okay. For this one, say already is paused. Actually, I have changed the condition, right? So maybe we'll say already paused. And we'll say it's already paused. So the thing is that someone is trying to pause this capacity, and if the capacity is running, only then the logic app will pause this capacity. Otherwise, it will say it is already paused. So let's change the connection to mine. Yeah, we're good to go, I think. Let's save it and run. Let's see if I get any notification from workflow.
Yes, I got already a notification that the capacity is active.
Oh, all right. I think I forgot to change one recipient email, right? So the recipient email is still this one. Let me refresh this window.
Because we have achieved what we wanted, right?
Yeah. So if already is running, so yeah, I forgot to change the email here. So I was expecting a message, so that's why I didn't get it. But let's see if the capacity is paused now. So this is our capacity. It's taking too long to load. That is something. All right, we can see the capacity is paused. Here the status is paused, right? So that's the thing. Now let's add this logic app to the Power BI report. And how can we do that? We can just copy the trigger link from here. Then we can just add another button, like insert buttons, this blank button. And from there, let's name it like suspend. And then let's turn on the action. The action will be a web URL, and the web URL is there, right? So now if I click on that, so the logic app will be triggered, and the activity will be invoked. So let me show you it is running. So see, the capacity is right now in paused, right? Pause status. Let's try to resume it from the Power BI report. So click on this resume capacity. Now let's see what is the status. See, it is now active. So let's pause it from the Power BI report. Click on the suspend. Then we can expect the logic app will be pausing. See, this is pausing. And in few moments, it will be paused. So now we can do the turning on and off on demand from this Power BI report. If we share this Power BI report to anyone without the access to the capacity, they will be able to turn the capacity on and turn the capacity off. So it doesn't require any additional access. That is a plus point of this. Right. So now I will show one last thing that let's say we only use the capacity during our office hours, right? Our office hours is 8 to 5. So we want this logic app, the resume logic app to run every day at 8 a.m. so that the capacity wakes up, and the suspend capacity to run every day at 5 p.m. So after office hours, the capacity is turned off. So like that will save like 60% of the pay-as-you-go cost, right? So let's do it. To schedule the logic apps, what we can do is we can just create another logic app. It can be done in one logic app as well, but the point is to show it in a simple way. We are creating separate logic apps to keep it clear. Let's schedule demo resume. So this will like do the scheduling thing.
Going to change the resource group name.
Yeah, I noticed that. Actually, I didn't click on that because it's a pain to find out the resource group. To so that's why we can skip it right now. But keeping everything in one resource group, that helps us to keep things organized. Yep,
It's a best
that's a
practice
bad
too, but
habit.
yes, that is why I am mentioning that. So every time you
Yeah,
create a resource, you cannot end up creating
correct,
another resource group, right? So your
correct.
portal will be filled with resource groups. So after work, you will be deleting your resource groups and your base, right? So
Yeah, you
yeah.
are correct. So that is one bad habit of me. I'm sorry for that. So yeah, let's try to schedule the resume. So see, we have Rubat has created a resume logic app. We will trigger that logic app from this logic app, and how we'll do that? Let's duplicate this tab and see what Rubat had built. I want to go to the logic app page to see the resume logic app. There you go, demo resume. So what I will do is that to this logic app, I will say call an HTTP. So HTTP is nothing but by HTTP, I'm referring to this link. So you see, I can just copy this link and paste it in the browser window and press on enter. The same thing can be done from another logic app. So this HTTP connector can do that. If I can just put the URL there, this is the URL for the resume logic app. And the method was selected as get in the resume logic app. When Rubat created this, the method was get. So after that, if we scroll down, we can see we can also set a schedule there. So we'll say it will be running every day. Like my time zone is +6 at 8 a.m. I don't need to specify a minute. So this logic app will run every day at 8 a.m. and then it will call this link. And this link is nothing but to the link to the resume logic app. So if I just save it, then every day this logic app will be running at 8 a.m. to wakes up the capacity. We can do the same for the suspend, but since it is the same thing, I will not be showing the suspend scheduling suspend. So that will be the same thing. So Rubat, I think we can now move on to the scaling up and down part, right?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead to that.
So do you want to talk a little bit about the scenarios, or should we jump directly onto the hands-on? What do you
It's
think?
short on time, so let's not
All right,
waste
all
our
right.
time. Yeah,
Yeah. So let's try to do it quickly. I'll reuse the
please do that.
logic app. logic app that Rubat has built. So let's go with this resume logic app and copy this one.
Yes, so while Shabir is cloning the logic apps again to the participants, so you don't need to create this many logic apps to scale up and down to resume and pause the capacity. To make it easier for this demo, we have divided it into multiple logic apps so that you can understand it better. But again, you can do it in one logic apps. Okay, this is just to mention. All right.
That's the challenge I took actually personally, that I'll create all the logic apps, but I'll not write a single line of code. That's
Yeah, but
what Chu was
you are
talking
actually
about, right?
cloning the logic apps.
Yeah.
I created
So
the
let's
first one.
see if it's there. So the demo skill, can you see the demo skill? Yeah, there it is, the demo skill. That is the same thing as the resume app. I just copied it, and now I will just like modify it so that it does the scaling up part. For the time being, let's not remove any of these connectors. Let's add just one connector for the time being uh, that is capable of change the size of a capacity. Now let me show you what I'm trying to achieve. This is our fabric capacity, right? So we can resize it from here manually. So I want to do it using the logic app. So let's so this can be done using that Azure Resource Manager as well. That is there. If we click on see more, there is create or update resource, this activity, right? This activity can do the magic. So this is the information for the capacity we're trying to control. So I can just copy and paste from the earlier activity, because this is the same thing as where, or Rubat, what do you think? Should I do it from scratch? It is already there in the drop down, right? So because we were using it. So for this resource group, it is not still appearing. We can just click on this enter custom value and provide the resource group name there. And this resource group is for the capacity. So let's see what's the name of this capacity. Sorry, the resource group for this capacity. That is this one, copy, paste it. There you go. For this resource provider, one thing I want to show you from where we can know the resource provider is the Microsoft.Fabric. That is actually in these properties. If we go to the Fabric capacity, then under settings, these properties, we can see
Resource
like
type.
yeah, we can see from here, this is Microsoft.Fabric resource type. So this is Microsoft Fabric. Click on that. If actually I tried one thing, that entering Microsoft.Fabric as a custom value, but it doesn't work for it didn't work for me. So we have to select it from the drop down actually. So I just searched for Microsoft.Fabric and then choose it from the drop down. For the short resource ID, we can get it from the capacity. This is just the short resource ID. Just last two part from resource ID from properties. Let's copy it and paste it there. All right. And for this API version, I forgot what was the version. Let's check. Again, everything is coming from all the properties I'm checking from this capacity. It can be found in this JSON view. There are actually two versions. Let's go with the latest one, 2023 11.1. Am I correct, Rubat? So let's change the connection as well. So now one thing, it has been now connected to the capacity. Now I want to mention to change the scale, how we can do that. This can be done from this advanced parameter. So from this advanced parameter, we can just change the SKU name, and the location is a like must required parameter that we have to put it here, otherwise it will not work. So the skill name. So we want this activity to change the scale to F16. It is, and our capacity is running right now at F2. We want to scale it to F16, right? And the resource location, let's check the location. It is Central US. So let's search for Central US. There it is. All right. So I want to show you one thing. It is kind of a bug. I'm not see the capacity admins. You can see there are 3 capacity admins right now, right? So if we just run it with these parameters, the capacity admins get dropped. So if I run it at this status, we'll see the capacity admins dropped. So the workaround for that is add the properties as well. So this properties parameter is nothing but this capacity is reading something, right? So this capacity can get the properties. So when we'll read the capacity, we'll get the property and put the property here. So we can click on this FX, the dynamics content, and then get the input from this capacity. The name of this from this activity. The name of this activity is read a resource. So let's find for read a resource activity. Read a capacity. Read a capacity. So if I click on see more, it will offer me the information that it has, got. So I want only these properties. So I'll click on these properties and then add. So whatever the properties it will read from the capacity, it will put the same properties whenever it is, changing or updating the capacity and scaling it up or down. So right now we can save it. So one thing I want to mention, if we try to scale it up or down using this activity, the capacity must be running. So that's why I didn't delete this part. So before invoking this parameter, we can just check if the capacity is paused. If it is paused, we'll resume it. We don't need this notification here. Let's delete it. And let's move it here under the update capacity so that I can get the confirmation saying that it has been scaled up or down. So what it is doing right now is that it is reading a capacity. After that, it is checking if the capacity is resumed or paused or not. So if the capacity is paused, it is turning on the capacity. And after that, it will scale the capacity. We could do it you see, whenever we'll run it, only this create or update a resource will run and we'll try to scale it up. But we have a prerequisite that the capacity must be running, right? So we are achieving that part using those activities. So just let me change the message. Scale up. Scaling done maybe. Right. So let's change the connection. And the recipient is Rubaiyat. So Rubaiyat will check if it is working. Let's save it and run it. While it is running, let's check the capacity. If it, see, the SQ has been changed, it is now F16. So it was previously F2 and now it is F16. So that is basically the scaling up for us, right? So also we can do the same thing for this scaling logic app. We can do it for on demand, like copying this link and creating a button here. And then whenever someone will need to scale it up, they can click on this button and scale up. And we can create this same logic app, like copy and paste, and just change the scale here. Like we can change the scale to F2. That will do the job for the scaling down, right? So since this is the same thing, I will not be showing that part. What do you say, Rubat?
Yes, that's completely fine.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing. If we like put the skill name to F2, and we can just change the skill name, and depending on what you usually use, you can call it scale up or scale down. This is just scaling, right? So for this scaling, there is one one case that we run pipelines, right? So let's go to the fabric. So whenever we run heavy pipelines, we need higher capacity, right? So we want our pipeline to scale up the capacity by themselves whenever they need it. The prerequisite for that is the capacity must be running all the time at a minimum, SKU. The F2 can be running always. F2 is like $260 month for like Central US or South Central US, I think. And if we can take it like on reservation, it will cost like 150 bucks. If I'm wrong, Rubat can check on that. Um, so
So we
what
will
I'm
be
trying,
sharing our slide deck after the end of the session so they can check themselves. No issues on that part.
yeah, you're right. So I can just show you what I'm talking about, like scaling from the pipeline. So let's create a pipeline from here. This is nothing but Power service.
So one quick question,
Oh,
Shabir, that
yeah.
why are you creating the
Hmm.
pipeline?
So that is a real life scenario. Like we are using Fabric capacity to do what, right? One major thing is we run pipelines to get the data, to move the data, right? So whenever we are doing these heavy pipeline invocations, it requires higher SKU, like for a certain period of time every day, like half an hour every day. The same pipeline can take like 30 minutes today, and it might take 20 minutes in other day, right? So the time is dynamic, that is not fixed. So I want the pipeline itself, like whenever it will run, it will by itself scale up the capacity, then it will run whatever it needs to run. And only when it is done with the pipeline running all its job, it will just scale down the capacity to save the cost, because our pipeline might need a F64, but our daily work doesn't. Our daily work maybe requires a F4, right? So just for a daily 1 hour pipeline run, it doesn't make any sense to keep the capacity running at F64 always, right?
Yes.
So
Okay,
we'll
we
create
got it.
the so we'll
Thank you, Shabir.
make the pipeline. Yeah. So we'll make this pipeline. Before making this pipeline, this is a like workspace. Let's assign the fabric capacity here that we are working on. That is the capacity one demo, right? Let's apply. So I did nothing but connected the capacity to this workspace. Now let's create a pipeline. I believe the capacity is running. So here, let's create more options. Data pipeline. Um, Is my capacity,
Just
is there
reload your
anything issue
browser.
with me? Yeah.
Just reload.
Let's check if I can create that now. Yeah, I can create that now. So I have just now assigned the license. So it took some time to orchestrate that everywhere. So let's dynamic pipeline. Let's call it dynamic pipeline, right? So here I'll just show what I am trying to achieve. Will not like run the whole thing because I am not going to create other pipeline to show that all we can add to this single pipeline or something like that. Let's get started. So the first thing is that we want to call the logic app that we created here from this pipeline. This can be done using the wave activity. The wave activity is here. If you click on this activity and then you can click on this wave activity. So let's name it for making more sense. It will scale up capacity. And it also have a place to put the link to the what it is, the logic app, right? So if we just click on this web activity, then on the settings pane under connection, if we click on more, then we'll do new connection. And in that connection, we'll just put the link to this, HTTP trigger. So let me copy this right now. In the meantime, this window has been loaded. Now we got to click on this wave v2. So here I'll just paste in under the base URL, I'll just paste the link for the logic app. That is that. And the authentication kind will be anonymous. A connection name, we can name it as our choice. And we are going to create a new connection, right? And then click on connect. Now, before we move on, let me click, select the method as well. The method is get, as you have seen already. So before I move further, let me run this pipeline and show you that it is this pipeline is able to call this logic app. So how I can ensure that our capacity is running at F16 right now, right? Let's modify it so that it scale it down to like F2. I know this is like in not conflicting with the name. Okay, let's change the name. Scale down. So let's see. Save it. I'm sorry. What's the problem? Let's reload. Yeah.
Sometimes the reload doesn't work.
Some edit there, yeah. Edit there, something maybe, and that's why it was showing that way. So let's change the SKU to F2. That is just it, nothing more, and then save it. And then let's copy the link, and for one more time, see the SKU is F16, right? Let's oh, I have connected the logic app already. Let's run it. Save and run. It is a saving. Now it is running. In progress. Succeeded. Let's check the capacity. Refresh. Let me refresh it again. should I change the, did I change the link to the capacity? Sorry, the logic app. See, this is F2, right? So the pipeline was able to call the scaling down logic app from this using this activity, and our capacity is now scaled down to F2. So what we can do is we can create separate logic apps that scales up and scales down. Like, let me copy this and show you a diagram. Let's say this does the scale up thing, and this activity does the scale down thing, right? So, and in the middle of this, we can just add our necessary pipelines. This is like, let's say those are the pipelines. So you can just add your necessary pipelines there. And then you do first scale it up. Once you scale up, you will run these pipelines. Once all the pipeline is done running on success, you will scale it down. So now that your those pipelines required F64, you don't have to run F64 247. So whenever you can just schedule this pipeline, and this pipeline will run on a scheduled manner every day, and it will first scale up the capacity, then it will do all the pipeline running steps, and after its job, it will scale it down. So that's the part of like dynamic scaling. So if I want to summarize, now we can do the resume and suspend from Power BI report that we call it on-demand resuming and on-demand suspending whenever a user is requires that. We can do on-demand scaling up and down. We have shown you how we can build a capacity to scale, build a logic up to scale capacity. And we also showed you how you can schedule all those things. Like you can just create a new logic app and schedule the respective, activities. And finally, we showed you can you can do this scaling dynamically from a pipeline. Rubai, maybe
Yes.
we have covered the core things that we wanted to show.
Yeah, that's true. And we are on time. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So we are almost at the end of our session today. If anyone have any questions regarding our session, we are happy to answer your question with the time we have at our hand. And thank you everybody for joining. So at this point, I will hand it over to Chewy so that he can say something. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for all the follow-up on this. Maybe just one last comment question from my side.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, sure.
I expect that this might be a question from anyone attending, but what will be the scenario where, turning on and off the capacity will be helpful? I mean, for what kind of customers, for what kind of company? I will be guessing it will be for organizations that are not big in size. Will that be the fair assumption, or can you just please briefly mention in which scenario is helpful?
Yeah, so if you want to, I can imagine of a scenario. So if we think about our company, we do not have a single capacity, right? We have separate capacities for separate works. So we have a separate capacity for our R&D. And R&D is like we do not need to keep the capacities running for R&D always. So also, if we just say everyone, like whenever you are doing anything, turn on the capacity, that's your responsibility. And whenever you are done, turn off the capacity, that's your responsibility. It's we can like assume that we can forget, right? So the main point is we can schedule this on and off. Also, we can keep a report where user can turn it on and off on demand. So that's there. It's mainly for the R&D things. And we say a company is likely to have a capacity running always it can be a F2, right? So and F2 in reserved, Nicola can knows better, maybe $150 a month. So it can be running always on 50 months bucks a month for the dynamic pipeline as well. So we don't have to run the
Keep it
capacity
running all the
always
time.
at higher skew. So we can
Money.
just yeah, you get my point.
Perfect. Nicola, anything else to add to close for today?
No, I enjoyed this and then learned a lot. So yeah, thanks to both Rubaiyat and Shabir for great presentation. Yeah.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah,
thank you everyone for joining. We'll keep you updated on next sessions that we are gonna have for you. And thank you for joining everyone. And thank you, Rubaiyat and Sabir, for providing all the follow-up and the explanation. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you
everyone.
Bye,
everyone for
everyone.
joining. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.